Hello student, in the last lecture you learned the software development life cycle. In the software development life cycle, all the phases of the software development life cycle you learn. Today topic is consideration for the candidate system. Candidate system means in the software development in life cycle analysis design the various phases uh, used for the development of the candidate system, the development of the software, and in the candidate system, the existing system in the any organization, the existing system is used, but in the existing system many modification and the changes are needed. And firstly, this modification and changes are analyzed, and then this modification and these changes are taken in the existing system, and this system is called as the candidate system. The candidates in the organization, the candidate system, the many changes related the software, related the hardwares are many times are necessary. The operation of the existing system, then the existing in the organization or in any company where the existing system is work, the operation of the existing system, which types of the perform, where the changes is necessary, where the performance not perform the properly, where the modifications are necessary, these are taken in the operation of the existing system. Maintenance, that focuses on the patching the program. Maintenance is also that focus on the existing system. Patching means the improvement of the programs. Modify the hardware and the software, update it, and the supported related data is also taken, database is also used. And the patching of the program is improvement and the enhancement of your existing software and the hardware and your in the database. Enhancement, that involve the major modification. The enhancements means the modifications is taken in your the existing system. The when existing system, the many requirement when existing system organizations, employee and the workers and the operators are used, but they are facing the many problem. Then the enhancements, many new changes are taken in the existing system. For this purpose, request for the candidate system, this enhancement, these many types of the changes, many types of the improvement in your in your the organization, in your the system, and these are the necessary to request for the candidate system. You have need the candidate system, you have need the new system for the organization, and the new system is called as the candidate system. Candidate system, the existing system, in the existing system new changes, new modifications are taken. For these changes many resources are necessary, human resources, financial and the technological demands are resources are necessary. For the existing system, your changes, human resources is also need, and the technological resources is also needs, and the financial. You have changes, you need enhancement in your existing system. The you have needs the financial needs. Changes are hardware changes, software changes. They when possible when financial resources are available. On the human side, the computer department has to provide the following resources. On the human side, computer department has to provide computer operator to run the equipment. The computer operators, which one is operate the computer, the needs the computer operator to run the equipment. Data entry personnel, which one is enter the data in the computer system. System analyst to define and design specification. You decided the changes in the enhancement in your existing candidate system. You have need the system analysis, which one is defined, where the changes is necessary. Organization objective, organization demand, organization requirement is decided by the system analyst, and the design specification of the new candidate, new system These are decided by the system analyst. Maintenance programmer to debug error. In the maintenance programmer, in the maintenance of the programmer, on which one is the enhancement is you have decided, the errors are occur. These errors are find out and the modified. These are decided for the consideration of the candidate system. For the candidate system decided, the technical is resources also necessary, human resources and the financial resources are also necessary. In the technical factor, the system department handle the project. It mostly depend on the availability of the qualified analyst and the designer and the software specialist to do the perform the work. This is decided for in the candidate system. Next is the political consideration. Political consideration means when you decided the changes in your system, the organization, employee and personnel, many times the contradictions are arises in the organization. The politics is the art of using influence and the building coalition when routine procedure do not achieve the right result, when the right results are not provided in the organization, when the system projects are developed, the collaborative relationship with the end user is helpful. User who participate in the building the system rarely criticize it. If such a participative relationship comes too late, the political consideration is considered in the organization for the development of the system. The many time the how to develop the system, where the problems are arises and how to this tackle, these are not properly solved. At that time, the political consideration is considered for the developing of the new system. Next is the planning and the control for the system success. Every time the planning is necessary for the developing the new system and the control for system success. When you decided to develop the new system, this system is properly work and perform the operations properly. At that time, they have needs the system success properly, system work properly. For the success of the system, analysts play the main important role. For a plan must be devised detailing the procedure, some methodology, activity, resources and the cost, timetable for completing the system. Cost is also decided and their activities also decided. Which time duration is taken for the development of the system. This is also the whole plan is decided by the system analyst. The second activities, projecting must be formed. Projecting, in the projecting, programmers, project manager and the user is also involved. The user is know how to the system is developed. The user requirements also know. This is the project team is developed. The system consult, the program is concerned with the project manager and their project team to where the problems is arises in the development of the software. They solved by the programmer and the system consult and the user representative share the knowledge and interaction between the coordination realized through the team effort. Next is the finally, the project needs to be divided into the manageable module to reflect the system development, analysis, design, and the implementation. The project is in the planning and the system success. System success is decided. The system analysis, design, and implemented. The analysis is taken by the analyst, and the design is also taken, and the implementation. Implementation means implement the system in the organization. Then maintenance is provided by the, which one is develop this system. Those ones are decided the decided decided the where the problems are arises in the system, they are modified and the rectified by the which one is developed this software. Next is the prototype. The software development life cycle is very tedious and the time consuming. Two major problem is with building in the information system is any types of the system. The system development life cycle is too long. The first is requirement is decided and the analysis, feasibility study. This feasibility study is taken, then design, coding, testing, implementation. This is a very time consuming process. The right system rarely developed the first time. The right system, which one is decided, the user here needs this system. This system is rarely first time. It's many times of the changes and the modification is taken in your system. For this purpose, the basic steps are taken. Identify firstly the user information and the operating requirement. Firstly, identify the user information and operating requirement. Which requirement is for the user, for which purpose user is develop the new system, develop a working prototype that focuses on only the most important function using a basic data type. Develop a working prototype for the system, how the system is work, the system flow, where the first operation is performed, which form is open, and which module is used. These types of the is firstly working prototype is decided. Allow the user to use the prototype. Your user to allow the use the prototype. Discuss the requested changes. To discuss with the user where is the changes is necessary and where is changes is changes are necessary in the system. Next, repeat the next version of the prototype with further changes and the incorporated until the system fully meets the user requirement. This is decided. Repeat the next version of the prototype with further changes are incorporated. The changes are needs for the user. The changes in the discussion of in the third step. You allow the user to use the prototype. User to allow to use these types of the prototype. The users are provided the many types of the changes. These changes are used in the next version of the prototype, and the changes are made. Changes are taken in your prototype, and these changes are meet the fully the user requirement. Which user requirement is given by the given for the development of the new system. This is a very simple process, but the system development life cycle is a very time consuming. It's paralysis by analysis, and is totally paralysis by the analysis. Many types of the analysis are taken. Information gathering, feasibility study is a very time consuming process. But the prototype is a new technique, new enhancement technique for the simply identify the user requirement, analyze the prototype input, take the input, processing it, and the output, implement the prototype. The final conversion is taken and the post implementation. Firstly, identify the user requirement. Analyze the prototype. The design prototype is decided. The input is given. The processing is taken on the input and the output is provided. Implement these types of the prototype, and these analyze prototype input process is a revised through the iterative process. Is totally iterative, and iterative process means firstly input is given, processing on it, and the output is provided. Then this implement this prototype, and this implement prototype is provided the final conversion. When they implement the prototype, the user requirement is totally fulfilled in the prototype. The user is decided, user suggested the changes in your prototype. These changes are taken, and the final conversion is taken, and the post implemented it. This is the prototyping, and the means in the software development life cycle, the many it is the very longest process. the maintenance, the taken. But in the firstly identify the user information, operating on the requirement, work on this which types of the requirements are necessary for the user, this work on the operating requirement, develop on the working prototype firstly develop, focusing on the most important function, and the most important functions are necessary for the user, focuses on using the basic data type, which types of the basic data type are used, these are used, and allow the user to use this prototype, and user to allow to use the how use the prototype, and then use the these types of the prototype by the user. The user suggested the new changes, then discuss with the requested changes with the user, and the user is suggested the new changes in your prototype. These changes are taken, and until fully meet the user requirement, user which requirement is necessary, which requirement is needs for me important for in your system, these are taken in the prototyping system development. In the prototyping, identify the user requirement, then analyze the prototype, input is being processing and the output, then implement the prototype, then the final conversions are taken, and then post implement it. This is the total prototyping of the software. Thank you.